Frozen 2. After several years since Elsa was crowned as the new queen, it is time to go back to Arendelle and experience some new magic that's just waiting for us to discover. When looking back at the first movie, there's no secret as to why it earned an official sequel instead of Disney's other fairy tale-based animated features. Okay, yeah, it's because it's one of Disney's most profitable properties, and the movie went on to win multiple awards and had the title of the highest-grossing animated film of all time, but there is a good reason why it became a phenomenon. After 70 years of Disney trying to make a film adaptation of The Snow Queen by Hans Christian Andersen, they finally hit their mark with a feature that strongly connected with audiences with its powerful story, stunning animation, memorable characters, and not to mention some of the most well-known and beloved songs featured in a movie in recent years. It proved how the timeless Disney formula still resonates with audiences to this day, and what The Lion King did back in the 1990s is what Frozen did in the 2010s. But now that the royal family is heading into the unknown, will Elsa still have enough magic to enchant the movie like before, or will the sequel leave its viewers in the cold? Let's find out! The story. As Elsa and her family take on a brand new adventure in the Enchanted Forest to discover the truth of their family's past, they find themselves in, honestly, a bit of a mess. And I don't mean they got themselves in a sticky situation, I mean that the story itself is poorly planned out. This is unfortunately the biggest issue with the sequel that makes it a bit of a downgrade to the original. In terms of the plot itself and the story structure, they're just not as well handled as the first and results in a predictable and clumsy outcome. The foreshadowing makes things obvious, there's no balance on what the movie should be about, there's a pointless side plot with Kristoff, and there's a good amount of questions that end up getting unanswered. I don't necessarily blame the filmmakers for this because it is noticeable that they were having a hard time to figure out how to continue the story and to do so while maintaining the high standard of the first. Disney is amazing at making timeless animated films, but let's be real, follow-ups are not really their specialty.
Elsa, get out of there!
You can't just follow me into fire.
Then don't run into fire.
However, even though it's not a great story, that doesn't mean it's hopeless. The writing still tries everything it can to make the most out of the concepts while maintaining the elements that audiences love the most from the predecessor. Yes, the story itself can be debatably weak, but it still provides a strong amount of heart from the sisterly bond between Anna and Elsa, the lighthearted humor that helps balance out some of the serious and dark moments that gives the film a sweet charm, and some surprisingly intense moments coming from the musical numbers and the action scenes. It also does well on the world building to make the Enchanted Forest highly immersive with the elemental spirits in charge of the place and the history between the Arendellian soldiers and the Northuldra tribe. If it cannot deliver in the concepts, then it tries all it can to make up for it with the execution to make it as epic and engaging as possible, while still staying true to the spirit of the first film. While the movie may suffer a bit from a feebly organized story, it makes the most out of it to ensure an experience as enchanting as before. The animation. While the story may be lacking compared to the original, thankfully, the animation is still as great as ever. Say what you will about this feature, but there is no denying that this is a beautiful looking movie. In fact, now that it is set during the fall season, it results in being a lot more colorful than before. Not only to bring more life to Arendelle and the Enchanted Forest, but also to collaborate with the lighting to really set the mood. Speaking of the areas, with how this movie takes importance to world building, it takes its time to make the backgrounds feel as immersive as possible. While audiences are familiar with the Norwegian-style kingdom of Arendelle that many people call home, the Enchanted Forest is a highly detailed area that's meant to present nature at its finest and rarely touched by man, but contains some magical secrets to deliver some elements of surprise.
Protect Arendelle at all costs.
I believe in you, Elsa, more than anyone or anything.
As for the look of the characters, the designs are still great like they were from the previous film. The only addition is with the new people the family encounters in the Enchanted Forest, while also presenting the elemental spirits as the standout new characters to the Frozen world. But when it comes to the character animation, The animators have given their all to make the film visually engaging. Through the movements of the characters, they help enforce the emotions of the moment, especially to make the musical numbers stronger and the action more intense to keep audiences at the edge of their seats. But if there's one standout component of the animation that makes this a true visual spectacle, it's the use of effects. The first movie did a great job with Elsa's ice powers, but now the sequel has plenty of new elements to play with and uses them quite effectively to enhance the magic of the movie's environment, along with staying true to that frozen spirit where the magic plays a big role in the character's identity, like with Elsa. If there's one thing that hasn't changed from before, it's that the animation of Frozen is still a wonder to behold. The characters. Part of what builds a great amount of anticipation for the sequel is to see the beloved characters return on another epic adventure. The good news is that most of them come back presenting what made them Disney icons in the first place. However, the key word here is most. Starting off with the royal sisters, Anna and Elsa, it's like I said before, they supply the heart of the movie with their family love for one another. Now that they're spending more time together after the years of isolation, this quest to seek the truth about Arendelle and their family's past put their bond to the test, while each sister also has an important goal to accomplish for it. Elsa wants to figure out what's that voice she's been hearing in the hopes that it could answer many questions for herself, while Anna wants to keep Elsa safe and make sure to stick by her side so that they don't end up distant from each other again.
Anna, no, I have my powers to protect me. You don't.
Excuse me, I climbed the North Mountain, survived a frozen heart, and saved you from my ex-boyfriend, and I did it all without powers, so, I'm coming.
Me too.
Olaf also has a prominent role in this new installment, and at first, I was worried if his goofy sense of nature would be too out of place for a movie that might want to take itself a little more seriously. As it turns out, he's actually a well-needed comic relief. It's possible that his humor might not connect with everyone, but his role is to balance the tone by supplying his innocent personality as lighthearted comedy, like a moment for audiences to breathe easily after an intensely serious moment. As for the new characters, they don't play that much of a significant role in the feature itself. For the most part, they're meant to enhance the world building of the Enchanted Forest. But among all the people of Frozen, none have gotten more of an unfortunate downgrade than Kristoff. His problem is that he has this side plot that serves little to no purpose in the main story, where he tries throughout the feature to propose to Anna. Being this tedious trope is one thing, but it makes it worse with the fact that Disney has already done this in one of their older animated sequels with Bernard from The Rescuers Down Under. However, regardless of which character it is, whether it be great or flawed, there is one thing that helps embolden the cast. Just like the crew making this film, the actors have this strong sense of passion for making this movie the best it can be, and deliver a fantastic voiceover performance that helps strengthen each character. They play a vital role in easing some of their issues, and carry a positive note to keep some form of likability onto them. The movie does care deeply of the characters that are involved with this movie, and with the additional aid of some amazing voices, the royal family of Arendelle is still as well suited as ever. The songs. Out of all the elements of this movie, the songs are most likely the ones that would have the toughest act to follow after what the first established. Keep in mind that with the first Frozen, there are some of the most well-known and beloved songs that came out of the movie in the entire decade. While the story and some of the characters may not get that same standard as the first, the musical numbers surprisingly do. They contain the same strong sense of emotion, that impact, that epic feeling that made the older ones viral sensations. They start out on a strong note with a lullaby-like melody called All Is Found, which encompasses the whole feature and set the story.
In her waters, deep and true, lie the answers.
There are also a few songs that aim to be a little more comical or joyful that end up with some mixed results. There's some things never change that feel like a throwaway for the sake of moving the plot forward, while others, like When I Am Older and Lost in the Woods, are enjoyable where Olaf's song adds a bit of naive fun to play more with his character, while Kristoff's song is possibly the funniest in the way that it parodies those 1980s style love songs.
Yes, some things never change, like the feel of your hand in mine. Some things stay the same.
I'll have all the answers when I'm older, like why we're in this dark enchanted wood. I'm the one who sees you home, but now I'm lost in the woods.
But then there are Elsa's numbers. Some say that it can't be done to make something equally as powerful and unforgettable as Let It Go. But this movie found a way with not one, but two songs with Into the Unknown and Show Yourself. They're the ones that let out the biggest emotion and deliver the best moments of the movie that make it feel like a true spectacle. I'll even give credit to The Next Right Thing to have it be on a strong solo moment.
Don't need something new. I am afraid of what I'm risking if I follow you into the unknown. Show yourself. Step into your power. Grow yourself to rise from the floor. When it's not you, I'm rising for.
I'd also like to add that the visuals really help with the musical numbers to amplify the mood, whether it be to make things funnier, meaningful, or even more grand. The sequel understood what made the songs of the original so good, and uses that to make its musical numbers the true highlights of the movie.
I won't look too far ahead.
Is it as good as the first movie? Honestly, no. Does it still have that same wow factor and masterclass craftsmanship that's worth checking out? Absolutely. Frozen 2 may be a minor downgrade from the legendary original, but it is still a greatly built animated feature that keeps the spirit of Frozen alive and deliver what made the first one of the most iconic movies of the 2010 decade. While the story may be poorly organized, the movie is still highly engaging with intense action, enjoyable humor, the return of beloved characters, amazing voice acting, beautiful animation, and songs that are on par to the ones of the original. For my recommendations, I believe that the ones who will enjoy this the most will be fans of the first. If you like the original Frozen, then this is worth checking out. However, I don't think I would say the same for those who are not. I don't believe this would really change the minds of those who are doubtful of Frozen. Then again, just by glancing at the wide variety of reactions, I could be wrong. Is there a point to having a Frozen 2? Probably not, but the effort to prove its worth is certainly admirable.
I'm just living the dream, Anna. Oh, how I wish this could last forever.